Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. If you've managed to get people to say yes to booking a call with you, yes in your DMs having a conversation, or maybe on the phone, wherever the case may be, and somehow those conversations are not turning into clients and coins, let's get into it. I'm Chloe Bond, and I am a business growth strategist for solopreneurs with coaches, consultants, experts. If you have a service based business and you online, baby, you in the right place. So let's talk about it because I had an agency owner that I had a conversation with, and I was working with her very lightly. And one thing she noticed is that, yes, she was bringing in leads into her agency. Yes, they were getting on the sales calls, but no, they were not converting. And it wasn't because they weren't quality people. They were qualified leads. They matched her ICP. And maybe you can relate that you're talking to the right people. The message is resonating. The content is converting into conversations, but it's dying right there. It's stopping right there. You can't get any further. The issue is your sales structure of the call. I know that's something that you don't often think about. And I know there's tons of information about how to have a cold call, but there's not enough conversation and information around how to have a conversation with people that are already warm. I don't know what the little YouTube obsession and the training is for cold calling, but in sales, even warm calls need to have a structure and a setup to overcome objections to close the door. The number one thing that I found that destroys a warm conversation is you running your mouth, typing too much. In any conversation you have, when you're looking to have someone come on as a client, you need to listen. You know, have you ever heard that we have two ears and one mouth for a reason? This needs to be less than this. That's what happens on sales calls all the time. When you're doing most of the talking, that means you're not doing any listening. That means you're not picking up on their needs to plug in how your solution is a perfect fit. You're not listening to the questions. You're not listening to potential objections because you're running your mouth too much. There you go. I could probably just end the conversation right here, to be honest, but really, the number one thing that's keeping you back from having people say yes to signing up with you is not because it's not a good fit. And that's why you're in this constant loop of pivoting, changing offers, changing marketing. No, the data on your sales calls is what? It's not structured properly. Again, number one, you're probably talking too much. Understand this: when you have a person that's warm and voluntarily books to talk to you, that is a blessing. That means they've already been convinced by all the hard work you put in. The whole reason why you put all that hard work, for people to feel seen, for people to want to have a conversation with you, for people to want to book with you, is so that you don't have to do all this razzle dazzle nonsense on the phone or in the conversation or in the DMs. That's why you do it. So they're coming to you already somewhat educated, familiar of what you can do. That's why it's your job now to see what gap needs to be closed for them to say yes. And again, you don't know that if all you're doing is running your mouth. Like, you have to shut up. Let them give you the information you need. Find out what is the resistance for them not to go ahead and make the payment. What questions do they have that maybe didn't get covered, and whatever piece of content convinced them to go ahead and take the next step. That's the only mission you're on, is what is the gap for you to go ahead and say yes. I'm ready to pay. I'm ready to sign the contract. I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to get the link. That's all you need to worry about. Now, when you're having the conversations after you've learned the art of being quiet and asking the correct questions, well, I guess that'd be the point number two, is to ask the right questions. What questions do you need to know that shows them that they're ready, to know that they are fully aware of what's going on? Whatever that looks like for your particular offer, do they need to be in a certain kind of place? Like for me, I only work with seasoned individuals. So I want to know, have you ever worked with any clients before? Because if they say no, I've never worked with clients before, now I need to start asking some additional questions to know if they're just a straight up nah, or if it's something that I can actually work with. They might say no, I don't have any clients in this particular industry, but I'm pivoting. I've changed over industries. I did this for 5 years and it worked really well. Well, we might be able to do something with that. But if they're like, I'm brand new, I don't know anything, I haven't done anything, and this is a whole new industry, well, I gotta pause. You might not be a good fit over here. So you need to know in your mind, what are some things that you need to ask to make sure that they're a good match for you? This is your call, and that needs to be your approach. When you're coming into a sales conversation, you're the expert here. These people are looking for a solution. You hold the keys. And it also is your job to make sure that you qualify them, because if you don't, that's a you problem. Bad fit clients, that's a you problem. It's not a them problem. It's a you problem. Because end of the day, you have to understand that you only can serve at the highest level when you have the best fit client. So that's again why it's your job when you have these conversations to make sure that you can truly meet their need and get them the results. It's as simple as that. So again, learn to listen more than you talk. Ask the right type of qualifying questions to make sure that they're the right fit. You have to take control. And that's why I'm so big, and I say this all the time. When it comes to sales, the mindset really will tear you up. If you're coming in like, I got to get the sale, I need to get the money, I need to get the money, then you energetically are changing them to have your life in their hands. It's the other way around. They're not the solution to your problem. It might feel like it because you have bills to pay. It might feel like it because you need money to run your business, but they don't have the keys to the kingdom. You have the keys to their kingdom. You're here to offer them a solution. It's not the other way around. So when you come in with this like fear and timidity of like, oh, I need this to go right, I need them to sign with me, then you start shucking and jiving because you want this sale so doggone bad. That's how you end up saying yes to people that don't make sense, because all you know is I can try to make it work because this is the closest you've been to a sale. You have to detach, and this is point number 3. You have to detach from the outcome of the sales conversation. Yes, do we always want to win over a sale? Absolutely, but we want to win the sale correctly. We want to have the right client. We want to have the right client so we can provide the best testimonials. That's how this goes. When you're coming in with the anxiety of, I have to do my best, I need to do all the right things, I need to convince them. Again, these are warm people coming into you. They're talking to you because they saw something you talked about. They're curious enough to see if it makes sense for them to move forward. You have them already convinced in some way. So this is your time to shine and close. It's not your time to convince. It's not your time to bring your anxieties in, your worries in, your mortgage that's hanging over your head in. They're not here for that. Detach from the outcome. That's why point number 2 of asking qualifying questions matters, because the faster you get to knowing if they're a good fit, the faster you can get off the call, in the conversation, send them to something that would get them ready for you down the line, and focus on finding someone who's in motion. In motion people's who we talked about in the last video. Talking to people who are in motion, in the market to actively buy. But that's the thing. You have to detach from the outcome. When your desired outcome is, let me find out if they're even a good match and if I can actually help them. Key is, if I can help them, not can they pay me, but let me find out if I can help them. And if the answer is yes, then you can close it easily, because the path forward is very simple for you to paint out for them. But if you're coming in with the mentality of, I need this high ticket sale, you're not going to probably get the sale because your anxiety is ruling the call. So point number 4 is for you to always have control over your sales conversations and calls. It is not it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You don't have to come in boom, boom, bout. Now for me, I will say this. It needs to be a marathon, not a triathlon. Because some of y'all are turning simple sales conversations into a whole service. And that looks like you talking to people for an hour. I've worked with CEOs and they turn it into like a full-on consultation and step-by-step plays, and then wonder why folks don't close with you. And they go to the next person who had enough sense to do what I just said, listen, ask qualifying questions, and detach from the outcome, position themselves as an expert in the solution. Once they figured out the person was qualified, I have closed people through text messages. I've closed people through in 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Why? Because I asked the right questions and I found out what they needed to know. Where was the gap to close them? What do they need to know to go ahead and make payment? If you're on these calls 30 minutes, an hour, you're the problem, boo. There's no reason. You should be, that means you're convincing. Check in here, because now you're convincing. You don't need 30 minutes to an hour for a person that's warmed up, a person who's seen your content, a person who's been on your email list, a person that's been hanging around as a follower for the last 2 years. Why do you need to talk to them for an hour? They've been consuming hours of your content. They already know. There's nothing you're about to tell them that they probably aren't aware of. Find out what they need for you to close them and take control over the sales conversation. You are busy. You don't have time. You don't have an hour to spend on someone who may not pay you. That's dumb. Nobody want to tell you that. I'm going to tell you, it's stupid. I don't care about being political. You look crazy. You don't need an hour to talk to someone who already knows who you are. Please. You're wasting time. Because within that 1 hour, you could have talked to 5, 10, 20, 50. You would have sent 50 new requests, had 20 other conversations in an hour through the DMs on LinkedIn by now. Let's be for real. Your sales calls, again, close the freaking gap. Close the gap. That's all you need to do. Close the gap. So that's all I got for you. This is how you need to get done. Structure your sales conversations. It shouldn't be a surprise to you when you come on. So just to go back to the beginning, so when I talked to the agency owner and we looked at how she was structuring the calls, once she put her hips down as the expert, understanding these people are interested in working with her, she didn't need to convince. She closed the sale in the next 24 hours. Because she learned, I just need to ask the right questions. I just need to find out what about the agency they need to know to be comfortable enough to sign up. Once she did that, bam, literally, I don't have to make this crap up. In less than in 24 hours, she signed her client to the agency. So I'm telling you what I know works here. I'm telling you the way that I've closed high ticket sales for the last 6 years. This is how this goes. They're warm coming in. You've already convinced them enough. They're interested enough to make the next step. Find out what they need to know to make it. Position yourself, run your call. They're not running you. They're not over talking you. And I'm going to give you this last little tip before I even get up out of here. Because I almost made myself mad thinking about all the stuff y'all out here doing, don't need to do. One thing that I tell people in the beginning of the call is, hey, we're going to go ahead and jump right in because I know 30 minutes isn't a long time and I have another call after this. Let people know I'm not finna be here with you all day, ma'am, sir. I'm not about to be here with you all day. We're not going to talk about your grandma, your grandpa, and your anniversary. We're going to do one joke, and then we're going to get down to business. Why? Because, like, for me, I work with business owners. You should be busy coming to talk to me. You shouldn't have an hour in your hands to talk to me. So we getting down to business. Do you want it or you're not? Like, that's the internal attitude. Outside is, hey, okay, well, that's awesome. So tell me more about why you're interested in working with the agency. But inside is, do you want it or you're not? Do you not want it? Do you want it? Okay. So if you have any other questions, I'm going to do another class or training on my YouTube channel about how to properly structure the sales calls even further, because I think that's something that will really benefit you. If you think it is, go ahead and drop a comment for me. Also, make sure that if you are looking to master sales, start with my free training. If you need to find a quicker way to land clients, I have a training that will get you a client in 48 hours or less. And it also comes with the workbook to build out your simple sales system. Also, that only takes a couple of hours. You don't even need a whole day. Have your wholesale system done. If you can just sit down for an hour or two, I promise you, it's so easy. So you can find that down below in the caption. Go ahead and download that free training. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share with one of your business friends. You can never get too good at sales. All right. I'll see you on the next video.